and welcome to the Unsure to Unstoppable podcast. My name is James Dunn, and I was adopted. I grew up in a household with an alcoholic father, and I was arrested for attempted armed robbery when I was 17 years old. Why do I share that with you in this podcast introduction? Well, because while you may not have gone through any one of those specific set of circumstances yourself, you've had your own version of them, whether it's a loss of a job, a divorce, you were picked on as a kid. Something in your life has created this little voice in the back of your head that's made you doubt yourself, question yourself and what you're truly capable of. As a podcast host and as a mindset coach, what I do is I help you tell that little voice in the back of your head to shut the fuck up, get out of your own way, and move from unsure to unstoppable. And how I plan to do that is each week I'm going to bring you stories of inspiration, motivation, my own challenges, my own struggles, as well as those of others who've gone through challenging times, rough times, things that most people maybe just didn't think they could ever get through, but have not only gone through them, but come out thriving on the other side of them. And through the sharing of those stories, I hope to help you see that you're not alone in this journey called life. Whatever you've gone through, whatever challenges you're having right now, it doesn't matter. You are a fucking badass and you deserve an amazing, incredible life, and we're going to help you get there. So with that, enjoy today's show. Well, hello and welcome back. So before we dive into today's episode, I do want to remind you that the Mindset Breakthrough Accelerator is coming soon. If you have not heard about it just yet, what it's going to be, it's an amazing life-transforming program that I'm going to kick off after the first of the year. If you've been struggling, if you've been challenged, if you've had setbacks that keep knocking you down and you don't feel like you can get past them, you've got places. Oh my God, what the fuck are you doing? You've been so good with this. Just keep going. What the fuck are you doing? Just keep going. All right. Well, hello and welcome back. So before we kick off today's episode, of course, I want to remind you about the Mindset Breakthrough Accelerator. It's kicking off to the first of the year. If you're not sure what it is, it's a life-transforming program, if I do say so myself. If you have challenges, if you have struggles, if you have this ceiling that you just cannot seem to break through, that keeps holding you back, what we're going to do in this program is we're going to really dive deep into those limiting beliefs, those self-doubts, what causes them, what you can do to get past them. Lessons I've learned over a decade or 2 decades of studying personal development and personal growth, my own experiences. I'm going to share it all with you. And what is my signature program moving forward? This is where I put everything that I've learned into one spot to help you, because there's so much that I have struggled with and been challenged with over the years that I've been able to get past. And I want to share that with you because you have an amazing, incredible life that you deserve to live, that you and your family deserve to have. And things right now maybe just aren't where you want them to be. And I want to help you get there. I'm going to help you get past all this bullshit, all this noise that's in your head that's holding you back from what you truly deserve. So if that's something you're interested in learning more about, taking part in, shoot me a DM over on Instagram or wherever else you follow me with the letters MBA for Mindset Breakthrough Accelerator. I will be sure to send you the information on that. And I just know it's going to be awesome and would love to have you join me there. So, all right, with all of that being said, let's dive into today's episode. Now, recently, not that long ago, I was guest coaching inside of someone else's program, actually. That happens from time to time. I'll get asked to participate in somebody else's program, and I always love going in there and sharing my mindset tips, hacks, tricks, beliefs, anything that I can do to help people. And once I was done sharing, my information, my presentation, I always open it up for Q&A, give the audience, an opportunity to ask me if they have any questions about what we taught that day, or if they have any questions in general. And I had somebody ask me a question that I think might help you, because if somebody else is going through the same struggle, chances are you might be going through the struggle, or I know somebody else out there is. And if it happens to be you, Awesome. I'm here to help you today. So the question they asked me is, why does everything have to be a struggle? I don't know if you've ever felt like this before, where you felt like everything that you did had to be a struggle, why it was a challenge. And many of us run into this because challenges are part of life. But does it have to be a struggle? No, it doesn't. What I shared with this person was, why do you feel like it's a struggle? What makes you believe it's a struggle? Is there a possibility that we can reframe this and thinking about it from a different perspective where it's not a struggle, where maybe it's a game, maybe it's a learning lesson, maybe this is actually fun? So if we look at something that we run into that is a challenge, maybe we're trying to make a certain amount of money in our business, and we try over and over and over and over, and it's not working. Where I feel like it turns into a struggle is if we let the lessons slip by, if we don't take what we're doing and actually learn from it. It's when we're looking at it like, oh, I'm not getting the result. Oh, I'm not getting the result. Oh, I'm not getting the result. Then that feels like a struggle. But if I look at it from a learning perspective, if I look at it from this perspective of, I'm just collecting data. It's like, okay, I tried something that didn't work. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, now let me try a new way to try this. If you look at it from the idea of almost being like a scientist, I'm trying to discover some new way to make this happen. Doesn't that seem like a lot more fun? Doesn't that seem a lot less like a struggle? So if we just shift our perspective from thinking that every step that we take or everything that we do has to have this specific outcome or it's the worst thing ever, that alone can make a huge transformation in how we see, this event, this occurrence. We can see things maybe not as a struggle anymore, but again, as something that's fun, as something that we're learning, and just opening it up to be a very playful attitude. I think that really will help a lot. Another thing that you can do if you feel like everything is a struggle is start leaning into the things that you love to do. If something's a struggle, again, maybe it's something that you're not taking the time to learn from, that you're not embracing, but maybe it's something you just really don't fucking like to do. And if that's the case, maybe it's time to let that go and have somebody else do it. If it's something in your business, so let's just say, as an online entrepreneur, as a coach, I'm doing this podcast. I'm doing a video podcast for those of you joining on YouTube, listening to the audio version. You can always check out the video version on YouTube. But let's say I don't like to do video in my podcasts. I could just stop doing video. If this really bothered me to look at a camera and speak into a camera and feel that one-on-one connection, like the eyeballs are staring at me, I don't have to do a video version of the podcast. I can do the audio only. I mean, that's the standard. That's the standard expectation is an audio podcast, but I enjoy being on camera. I enjoy having that connection and giving people the opportunity to see me and make a deeper connection with people through that. So I do video work. Now, if it was something that bothered me, if I didn't like this and I felt like I was struggling, to get this podcast out because I had to do a video side of it, I could just choose not to do video. And if I wanted to have it on YouTube, I could have a static image. I could have just a picture of me while the audio is playing underneath that. I don't need to have my actual video of me moving and talking on camera. But finding the other things that you are trying to do, where you're struggling, quote unquote, where you feel like you're struggling, can you get somebody else to do that? If it were writing emails, I want to continue to use the online entrepreneur space in my coaching space, in my coaching business, because if you listen to this podcast, chances are you're an online entrepreneur, or you are a growth-minded individual, you're setting goals, and you're probably, well, I just really think you're probably an online entrepreneur. That's who I seem to connect with the most. And let's just say, as an online entrepreneur, or even as a brick and mortar, you've got advertisements, you've got emails, you've got things that you need to get out in terms of marketing and advertising. And it's not something you love to do. So you struggle, quote unquote, to sit down and write these emails. You struggle, quote unquote, to sit down and write copy for your website. If that's the case, maybe it's something you just need to let go of. Maybe it's something that you hire out to somebody else and you can say, well, I don't have the money to do that. Well, maybe you don't in the moment. Maybe that is something that you need to work towards letting go little by little. But if you invest money in having someone else do the work that you don't like to do, that you quote unquote struggle doing, that frees you up to do the things that you do love doing, that will make you more money, that will be more energizing to you and keep you building that momentum and growing your business. And again, doing the things that need to be done to make the money, to spend more on having someone else write the copy that you struggle to do, and get all of that shit off of your plate. So life doesn't have to be a struggle. A lot of this is simply changing your perspective and allowing yourself to see it as a learning experience, as a growth opportunity, as how can I make this fun? Just even asking yourself that question, how can I make this fun? I'm telling myself this is a struggle, but what if I let myself allow that not to be the case? What if I allow myself to believe maybe it's not a struggle? What if I allow myself to believe, how can this be fun? And so if it is going back to this example of writing the copy, how can I make this fun? Can I research other people, who have done it? Can I maybe get a group of people together? This is something, if you have challenges writing copy yourself, maybe it's you do a co-workspace situation where you either go to a live place where other people are meeting up and connecting, or I know a lot of people in my space, not MySpace, the old website, but in my business type space, that will do co-working Zoom calls. They get on the call together and they don't even necessarily talk. I mean, they'll talk and introduce each other or say hi to each other once the call starts. But after that, they'll spend 30 minutes just sitting down writing, at the same time as the other people are. So it makes it a little more fun to get onto a call and maybe start writing and maybe even, brainstorming with them. It's like, hey, listen, I've got this idea. I need to write some copy today and I'm struggling with how to get this across. Can maybe you guys give me an idea that might resonate with you of what you would like to hear? What are maybe some challenges you're struggling with that I could help you with? Something like that, where putting yourself out there and asking for help, which is another great thing that you can do, is asking for help from other people on this thing that you feel like you're struggling with. Struggle is just a frame of mind. It's choosing to look at something as this task that is almost impossible, that I really just can't do. And again, doesn't mean you can't not like something. You can choose not to like it. I don't know how I'm trying to spit this out, but you can choose not to like something, but it doesn't have to be a struggle. You can just say, hey, this is what it is, because it's really what it is we choose to put that layer of struggle on it. It is what it is. It may be something I'm not good at. It may be something that I have to work really hard at. But defining it as a struggle then puts this very negative weight on it, puts this really negative feeling to it when I tell myself this is a struggle. Look at it more from a perspective of maybe this is hard work. Maybe this is something that I really need to practice at, to get better at, or again, just let go of completely. Maybe it's something I can just take off my plate completely and have somebody else to do it. But there's all of these different ways that you can look at this thing and it no longer being a struggle. Because as long as you look at this from the perspective of it being a struggle, it will be a struggle. Your mind has an amazing talent. And what it is it's going to fulfill whatever you say and whatever you think often enough in your head. So if you're telling yourself this is a struggle, guess what? It's going to be a struggle. It's never going to fucking change. It's always going to be a struggle as long as you say it's going to be a struggle. So change your language, change your thought process, change the way that you perceive the situation, and the situation will change. It all goes back to your mindset. That's what this podcast is all about. It's all about your mindset. So if you feel like everything is a struggle, realize the only reason it's a struggle It's because you're saying that it is. All right, get out there. Have an amazing fucking day, and I'll see you next time. If you found value in this episode, please share it with your friends. Give us a 5-star rating on iTunes and anywhere else that you happen to hear it. We are just trying to celebrate life, make it better for everyone, and sharing these messages with them just helps them believe in themselves and what can be better than that.